want to dive into two things this morning real fast for you. But first, I want to just say something real quick. I might have been off by a couple days, but the truth is that the media just did something to an entire group of people that really shouldn't have been done. And unfortunately, and I'm not trying to say I'm claiming to be some constitutional scholar, but I do know at least enough about the Electoral College and how it actually works and when elections actually are certified. And I also know too what happened in 2000. Like, okay, people, like some of the details, there was a concession. This is why you Democrats and Hillary supporters, why she actually might have made a mistake by conceding that election. She might have wanted to go and get that, had that thing recertified and all that, and votes tallied and all that. But she conceded. That's actually what Gore did as well too. Gore conceded, then took back his concession, and then he actually had to concede later when the Supreme Court ruled against him. So there was a concession there. Trump's not conceded anything. And this is why it's so important that you at least, just know a little bit. I know a little bit where I'm like, wait a minute, I remember Gore conceding something, pulling it back and all that, and there being a controversy in that with Bush. And so that's why I've been saying that what the mainstream media has basically done is they've ignited an entire group of people to believe something not to be true and are declaring the election without a concession by Trump. That's freaking crazy. And this is why I actually feel bad for the people who are on that side. Seeing the Kamala Harris things, oh yeah, my little girl can do this or that, and about, Biden and this stuff. You guys, they basically are telling you something that's not true, that's factually not true. You can't just be like, yo, I'm taking over this position without there actually having been a concession. You can't do that. So, that's going to be up to you guys, how you guys react. I think that what they're trying to do is get that side, which is highly emotional, triggered up and fired up as if they'd be entitled to something, when in reality, the media is the one that actually drove it. And what will the end result be? Y'all will be pissed off at Trump people. You won't be mad at the media. The media will tell you to be mad at Trump people as well. They'll be mad to tell you to be mad at Trump. So, and it's already said there's going to be legal challenges and stuff. But now to the Trump people, just understand, if it goes to the Supreme Court, you got to understand this. It's not a given, okay? So this is why I've said to both sides, don't gloat. If you're gloating right now, or if you're super depressed, I've been asking you guys, keep your freaking cool, man, because it's not determined yet. And the media actually is driving a group of people away. So now, let me get off of that. Now, there's two things here that I actually want to talk about and discuss this morning. Notice that there were no riots by Trump people over the weekend. There weren't. There were still riots by these BLM and Antifa folks. They were still doing things to people's homes and stuff. Now, unfortunately in this, and I'm going to say this, I'm just going to throw this out there. When people start to see how these folks actually act, there will be closet individuals who are going to be rooting against their own team. And I believe that's going to be Biden people rooting for Trump, because they're going to actually put two and two together and are going to see, wait a minute, this is actually who these people are. They actually are willing to do things to other people, even though I'm claiming myself to be on their same side, even though I voted for the same dude, even though I have the same supposed governmental desire with the desire for politics as a Democrat. They're going to find something out, and they actually are going to be the ones to say, wait, okay, I'm hoping Trump actually comes out on this thing on top, because they're going to see what law and order actually looks like. But, we'll see. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But I believe that folks are going to start seeing that and are going to start kind of questioning what it is that they voted for. And lastly here, if you and I are in the same boat, we're going to be, Americans and stuff. Just understand something. What's going to end up happening to us as a nation, there will be turmoil. And despite all the things that we have been told, despite all the things that we have been, led to believe about, coming together and stuff, you can't say we're going to come together while you put out all these fake ideas that were absolutely false. You can't say, oh, we'll come together after you call the entire group of people in this nation racist. You can't say we're going to come together after you malign the president on false pretense. You can't do that. And then expect, that you're coming from a position of virtue, when in reality, you've been the one that's been accusing folks of all this crazy stuff. Come on, just intellectual honesty here would do a whole lot of good. But, some people can, some people can't. But that's what's going to end up happening. And all you people out there who, just like myself, you're basically making a run off of Facebook, you're doing so because you see exactly what's happened. Okay, now I'm going to give you a specific instance here. There was an entire week of videos I went back on just to see if it was. I actually just kind of went back on my own Facebook timeline, and I was like, let me just look at this, because sometimes I'm kind of like, am I the one going crazy? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe my stuff didn't get throttled. Maybe stuff didn't, maybe it's not going the way I'm actually thinking it did. But I actually found an entire week's worth of videos. They're just gone. Okay, they're just gone. I also saw too, not only these videos were gone, but I also saw too that a whole bunch of the videos that I put out, there was a bunch of censor labels put on and stuff. So why does that happen? Well, the reason why people are going to leave Facebook and Twitter and all that is because they actually just want to have and be able to speak out and talk about the things that they see. That's all I'm doing. That's all I've ever done is told you what I see. And that's actually what got people pissed off. It's why black people, Mexicans, white folks, whoever started coming at me hella sideways. And then I started noticing that, when it actually, and this is when it actually did start happening, when I noticed that things were actually going in the wrong direction. I started noticing that it happened when I spoke out against BLM. I talked about the sex stuff. There's one video I made that talked about some of the hidden Twitter accounts that you can actually go onto and go into pedophilia. That's actually when stuff changed, but then it changed dramatically when I started talking about hydroxychloroquine. And that's actually when things went real sideways. So I might get like 10,000 or 1,000 or 5,000 whatever views, and then all of a sudden it went down to 500, maybe gone to 100. I can barely break 100 or maybe 200 now, and that's because people are actually searching me out now. So there's issues there. So people need a place where they want to feel like they can actually speak. And so even this video right here, I'm actually going to download this on a different platform and then attach it to Facebook, because I know that Facebook actually is throttling me. They actually are using their means and power to silence voices. So is that fair? Is it only fair that only one side? Is it all of one side, all fake news? Is everything that's being said all fake news? Is that the way it's determined now, that these tech companies can actually do that? Well, they actually believe that they can. I mean, they can actually silence the voice of the President of the United States. I mean, you have to understand how nuts and crazy that is. These channels will actually not broadcast what the president's saying because they hate him so much. You're living in an unprecedented time, and this is why it's nuts, okay? You can't silence half of the nation and think that the half of the nation is just going to capitulate. You can't just think that and then say, oh, well, now that we're going to be nice to you, now we need to come back together again. You have to understand, Biden was a part of the whole deal that happened with Trump. He was a part of it. So to say that he wasn't is nuts when this stuff is coming out. If you even just look up any of the details about Mike Flynn on justthenews.com, just search out Mike Flynn on justthenews.com and find out what actually happened, what Sidney Powell is uncovered and discovered. Okay? This is the stuff that you need to know. And this is what's so sad. You won't know if you're paying attention to the mainstream media. So this is what your choice is. You get to either decide what you want to see, what you want to, believe and view, and then use it to your own ability, use it to your own knowledge. But then if you find out that things go your different way, don't be mad at the folks who've been trying to tell you this whole time. There's something else you need to be looking at over here while you're like, no, this is the only story right here in front of my face on NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. Like these are all the channels that tell me the truth. When in reality they're not. They're telling you a portion of the story. They're not telling you the whole story. And I've told you before, I had somebody in my life that would tell me half a story. I give them advice on that half a story. Then they get mad at me when things would go sideways, not knowing that they told me something completely different. They didn't tell me the whole story about a situation. You need to know the whole story, because if you don't know the whole story, you'll be the people on the couch that understand. You'll be the people on the couch that are just sitting there wondering, like, what the heck is going on? People are wondering what the heck is going on, and there's a reason for that. Because the people on the TV who are controlling the media, who are controlling information, they are using you. You are being used right now. You Biden people are being used, and you are going to get mad at Trump folks for no reason. The mainstream media is doing this to you, not us. Not us.